As we mentioned at the top of the hour, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot making a major announcement in the city's battle to get children back in the classroom.
We are here to announce the very good news that our children will be returning to in-person learning this week.
Chicago, just one example of the battle between schools and teachers' unions over how and when to get kids back to the classroom. For more, let's bring in our panel. Former aide to Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer and host of the Aggressive Progressive podcast, Chris Hahn, and Fox News contributor and assistant editor of the Wall Street Journal's editorial page, James Freeman. Gentlemen, welcome.
Good to be here. Thanks.
Great to be here, Mike.
I want to play this clip from CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky.
I also want to be clear that there is increasing data to suggest that schools can safely reopen, and that safe reopening does not suggest that teachers need to be vaccinated in order to reopen safely. Vaccination of teachers is not a prerequisite for safe reopening of schools.
Chris, did she go off script or was she just being honest?
She's being honest. In the Biden administration, they don't have scripts like they did in the previous administration. And I think she's 100% right. Our first priority as a nation should be getting our kids back to school. Here in New York, most districts are back to school and have been back since September. I understand that there are concerns in some urban areas about being able to properly social distance in these classrooms. And I think what Mayor Lightfoot did in Chicago was work with the union to come to an acceptable solution to get kids back in the classroom. That should be being done across the country in every city, in every school district, because kids should be in the classroom and they should be learning. It's very important to their development.
To be fair, though, Jen Psaki came out a couple hours later and said that Dr. Walensky was giving her personal view, and that wasn't the official CDC guidelines. James, your thoughts?
Yeah, the president, unfortunately, has been saying that some schools shouldn't have to reopen for months. Really, they never should have closed. Dr. Walensky there was expressing what the science tells us in this country and in countries all over the world. Schools were never the super spreader events some people feared they would be. The kids obviously are at very little risk, and most of the staff are at very little risk. Most teachers not in the high-risk category. These schools should be open, and every day they're not. We're robbing these kids of the skills, the learning they need to earn in the future. So we are basically stealing from their future earnings every day that we have them out of class.
Chris, a tentative deal in Chicago announced by the mayor. Are you hopeful that this is the start of a trend of some of these big districts getting children back in the classroom?
Absolutely. And I think it takes leadership on the part of whether it be a mayor or governor or a school board president to work with their teachers and their teachers' unions to come to accommodations to get kids back in the classrooms. I think it is it's not something that is a political issue. Unions have the right to negotiate and feel safe, and they should be able to do that. But the leaders of those districts on the other side should be able to work with them and work out a deal just like Mayor Lightfoot did in Chicago. And congratulations to her. And let's hope that spreads across this nation, because the schools that are open, those kids are getting a benefit that are really to the detriment of kids who are not in classrooms. And I think it's very important that we have equality in education across this country.
James, I want to get you to weigh in on the story we confirmed from the Washington Post, basically saying that the Biden administration is going to reduce arrests, reduce deportations, kind of take the teeth out of ICE. Your thoughts on that?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think people might have gotten confused watching those debates last year, thinking that the difference in practice and policy between the Biden and Trump administration is. But I think he's the president now. I think he's going to find that you do have to enforce a border, or you invite people to attempt to cross who are not coming in legally. Now, that having been said, I would hope that the president will now seek the deal that Nancy Pelosi never really wanted to try with Donald Trump, is to get border enforcement, but also more legal immigration for people who want to come here and work and be productive citizens.
Gentlemen, we have to leave it there. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks.